Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
My name is Ian.
Oh, you sounded way too happy for that, Ian.
I
don't know.
I sounded way more happy than I've ever been in my life. That's the happiest I've ever sounded.
Poor Ian.
Yes.
Ian is Eeyore. Going to a party.
No, don't want to go to a party. That would be boring. I want to do that. Hate parties.
So what's going on? We took a week off, but we're back now. What's going on, Ian? Abortion's going to be illegal. How about that? That's
yeah. I mean,
it's been in the news lately. At least, I mean, it's not officially dead yet, but it's going.
it is.
It's going to be dead.
Roberts came out and said that leak was accurate.
Yeah.
So it is. It is dead. And I predicted this, and you said no, it'll never happen.
I will say
that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I will say that the reason why I said it wasn't going to happen is because I never in a million years thought that we would get the three of the last four Supreme Court justices that we've got.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it coming. And you were like, no. As you said a little while ago, I'm not very convincing. So.
I will say this. Elections have consequences.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens.
There is a big election that's going to be happening in less than 8 months.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that people actually go out
or 7 months.
Yeah, because there's a lot of speculation that this still may not be enough to help anybody.
If you have the same turnout that you had 2 years ago in the election, it would.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Look, abortion is going to be illegal in many states, including the state that we're sitting in right now, Michigan.
Right.
Because Michigan has a trigger law. So, if you are somebody that is offended by or mad that this is happening, get your ass up and go fucking vote for some people that are going to, because Congress can change that.
Right.
Congress can, all they have to do is pass a fucking law that makes it legal.
Right.
That's it. And it's over.
Well, I mean, what happens though? Can't they take that back to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court say
the Supreme Court runs under the laws created by the Congress? They can challenge it. I mean, that's fine. Then you pass a constitutional amendment is all you got to do. But I don't even think you have to get to that point.
Yeah, and I think a constitutional amendment would be difficult to do, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Because, I mean, you would need a supermajority across the board.
Well, you would need a majority of states, yes.
Right.
But since
would we get that though?
Probably not, because there's 6 states that are going to be that have outlawed it, or
pretty much.
And then there are like 17 other states that have trigger laws.
Right.
Because Michigan is a state that has a trigger law because it's illegal in the U.S. in the state of Michigan's constitution, and it has been prior to Roe v. Wade. So and Roe v. Wade overruled, obviously, the law on the state level. So once Roe v. Wade is gone, then it becomes illegal in the state of Michigan.
Right. So if Roe v. Wade overturned that law, how could Congress make a law to overturn the Supreme Court?
Oh, because all they have to do is create a law to legalize abortion.
Okay.
They're not creating a law to overrule the Supreme Court.
Okay. Oh, so what you're saying is because the law was already illegal pre-Roe v. Wade, it becomes illegal again. It's
correct.
No one's making it illegal
correct.
now.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I get it.
I think it's a pretty easy thing to do.
Well, I mean, the easy thing to do is if you don't have a uterus,
I know that.
Not to fucking have an opinion on it. That to me, that's the easiest fucking thing to do.
Well, I mean, there are people on the Supreme Court that have uteruses that are still
true
overturning Roe v. Wade.
Here's the thing: if you don't have a uterus, you don't have a say. If you have a uterus, but it's not your fucking uterus, you don't have a fucking say. How's that? Because it couldn't be any clearer than that.
Here's the thing, and this is the thing that people always talk about. Oh, pro-abortion or anti-abortion. No one is pro-abortion,
right?
And we've talked about it on the channel before, on the show before. I'm not pro-abortion. I don't want people to be having abortions either. I just don't feel it's our right or the government's right to make medical decisions for other people.
Right. Because a lot of these rules, like a lot of these state laws that they're doing to curtail abortion rights, some of them don't even allow for abortion in
ectopic pregnancies. Yes,
and those are not viable, are they?
No, they're not.
And
actually, they will kill the.
That's what I was going to say. And woman. If they're left alone, they're going to kill the woman. So no one lives there.
Correct.
So it's not a pro-life thing.
No,
it never was. It's an anti-woman thing.
Yeah, the whole pro-life thing is kind of bullshit because look, there's a lot of states, there's a lot of people that are like, oh well, abortion isn't about the woman; it's about murdering the fetus. And my thing is like, sweet. If we're banning abortion because it's murder, can we banish deer hunting too because that's murder?
Right.
I mean...
Well, then they'll point out that's human versus animal.
Okay, so while we're eating the deer, well, fucking Republicans already think Democrats eat babies anyway, so if we're eating the fetuses, can we keep abortion?
No, because I want to start eating the fetuses, Nick, and I don't want to do
that. But they think we already do that, Ian.
I know, but if you make that argument, we'll have to start doing that.
Fetus meat? No. But no, that's what
really wouldn't be meat. It's too gelatinous.
Oh God! But that's what I'm saying though. Is like, okay, they're making the argument that this has to be done because it's murder. Okay, well, where do we draw the line, and what's going to happen next? Well, if you think that's murder, well, I think something else is murder. Can we ban that?
Right. Well, not only that, it's like if you're pro-life but you're pro-gun, or at least pro or anti-gun control, we'll say. Guns kill people all the time. Guns kill more people than we have abortions in this country.
Yeah.
There's more gun death, more gun violence than there's abortions.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that. I don't know the numbers, and I guess I could be wrong, so I don't want to say it's fact.
I don't know. There are a lot of abortions.
Yeah. But I'm going to say that gun violence is probably a slightly worse issue.
There are a lot of abortions in the country every year. But you also have to think that there's things like natural abortion, things like that, where the body naturally does it, but it still counts as an abortion.
Right.
So,
well, and a lot of this don't these laws also go to the preventative? So Plan B is out of the question too.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is like, look, they're doing this under a certain justification. Like there's moral outrage against abortion. Mm-hmm. That's why these laws are happening. This is why. Part of the ruling that was leaked, that's kind of where they're going with all that. Okay, but there's also moral outrage against, like you said, Plan B. There's also moral outrage against things like birth control.
There's moral outrage against premarital sex.
Yeah.
Are we going to ban that too?
I'm sure there are.
There's a lot of people who would fucking ban it.
But there are, well, there's a lot of people that ban it while also still doing it.
Well, that's the same with abortion.
I know that.
How many fucking Republican senators have had their mistresses have abortions and paid for them?
My former congressman in Tennessee did that.
Yeah,
he's a huge anti-abortion person. At least he was. I don't know if he's still in Congress, but and then it came out that he knocked up his mistress and made her get an abortion, and then they reelected him. So
right, because that's
the family of the
so
party.
How strong is that moral objection?
I know
is my point. It's like. These people, they don't have a moral ground to stand on.
Because here's the thing, Ian, it has nothing to do with morals. It has everything to do with power and money is what
and
it
control,
is. Because it's the people in the Republican Party that are using this as a way to stay in power and to get reelected.
Right.
That's what it all comes down to.
But they have to know that they're going to lose votes.
They don't fucking care just as long as they gain enough votes to beat the other guy. They don't fucking care.
Well, they do have the Electoral College in their favor, so,
I don't know about that, but...
No, they do. The whole point of the fucking Electoral College is to give them the benefit.
Let's go back to the Supreme Court, though, because what goes on from here? Because I can see... Because the next challenges coming up are going to be gay rights. Mm-hmm. They're going to be a same-sex marriage. And they can use the same ideology that's in this.
I don't see how they can, because how does gay marriage have anything to do? Life is being ended.
Okay, so have you read any of the leaked?
I haven't read it, but I overheard the reading of it.
So basically, what he's saying in this leaked draft is, because it's not specifically mentioned in the Constitution, it has to be overturned. Well, gay rights are also not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution. So under that same frame of thinking, they can overturn that also.
So the Constitution is pretty much set in stone in 1783.
Which
is that what they're fucking saying?
Wasn't Thomas Jefferson that said every decade or so
should be rewritten?
It should be completely rewritten.
Right. Which I guess I'm not all for that, because the amount of trouble it would take to get, especially now, to get a rewrite on the fucking Constitution. But that's what the amendments are for.
That's exactly what the amendments are for.
It's a living document. It's a living, breathing, growing document.
Yeah, it's meant to change with society.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess couldn't that argument still be reversed on the gun control thing? Because the whole militia thing no longer applies.
Well, it yes and no. It depends on how you read that
all of it is dependent on how you read it.
Well, I mean the
that's what the amendments are for. That's why things are meant to be fluid, because interpretation.
There's more interpretation that was done in Roe v. Wade than there was in any of the threats against the Second Amendment.
Right. Well, someone's not arguing hard enough for that one then.
Well, they have, but it just the way that the Second Amendment is written, there is some interpretation that you can make there. Like I said, abortion is not in the Constitution.
Right.
Gay rights are not in the Constitution.
But you could file those under fucking human rights.
Yes.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
I know that, and I understand that, and that's what they have done. But because and that's what kind of my whole issue with this draft that's come out is the language that they're using in that is setting up for what they're going to do next, or what they can do next. It's getting rid of all this judicial precedent that's been, for the last 50 years in the country.
By that standard, then, we should bring back slavery. By the standard by which slavery was established as an okay thing in the Constitution originally.
Yes, and then it was outlawed in an amendment.
Oh, right.
And that's why I said, the only way, so if the Democrats.
I wasn't advocating for slavery, by the way. I was just being sarcastic.
I know that. I know.
I want our listeners to know I wasn't advocating for slavery.
Exactly. I know that, but I'm sure they know that too. But
all 5 of them.
Oh, shut the fuck up. If the thing is, like, if you want there to be abortion rights or at least the freedom of choice in the United States, the Democrats have to win the House and the Senate in November.
Right.
Because that's the only way that can happen.
Right. Yeah, it's the only way. And it can't happen 2 years down the road. Can't say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. We'll just get them in eventually, because when the Republican president in 2 years, most likely Donald Trump, he won't ever sign anything.
I don't think it'll be Donald Trump. I think it's going to be Ron DeSantis, but
I don't know. I think he's kind of burning some bridges.
I don't know. No, Ron DeSantis is setting himself up for a presidential run.
Oh, he's setting himself up, but I just don't know if he's going to win.
And I think he'll beat Trump in a primary.
You think so?
I think so. Even though all 21 of the people that Trump backed last night, on the 3rd, all 21 of them won their primaries, but whatever. But back to what I was saying about this Supreme Court is like I said, they're creating the roadmap for ways to unravel other rights down the line that are not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution.
Like I said, I saw this coming years ago.
Okay, so what happens next? Like what?
I don't know, because I don't know. I just know that I saw this coming based on things that were happening. I just knew it was going to happen.
But like I said, so what is going to happen next? What do we do? What?
It all boils down to how things go in November. I mean, really, that's all that matters.
That's it. See, I don't really see that. There are other ways around it. There are
we can protest. We can send letters. I mean, what else can you do?
You could do a constitutional amendment without Congress, but it requires states to pass the legislation. But the only problem is, I don't think we have 3/4 of the states that do it.
We don't. I don't think we'll have that even if we win in November. Even if the Democrats get the House and the Senate, we won't get the states.
You don't need it.
Now, can states make individual laws allowing it?
That's the question. Because California has already said they're going to.
Right.
There are a couple other states that have already said they're going to. The state of Michigan has, at least the attorney general has already said that she will not, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, she will not pursue criminal charges against women or providers.
Right.
But
then
that's an elected position also, and that
Right.
could change in 2 years.
Well,
I'm sorry.
that could change
this
in
month.
November.
I mean, this year. Yeah, November.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, if they could do it on a state level, I know, was it Connecticut is offering amnesty for the what's the law called where you can rat them out or sue people for getting abortions? It's like sue your neighbor.
I don't know the name of the
Whatever.
law.
Well, Connecticut is offering to accept anyone from out of state, and they're also offering the legal option to countersue anyone who sues them.
But here's the thing.
Under Connecticut law.
But here's the thing. In Texas, if you're a provider, you can get sued by people.
Right.
Connecticut isn't going to be able to help you with that. I mean, they're still going to sue you.
I'm just telling you what I heard about Connecticut.
I get that, but
I'm not a fucking lawyer. I'm just telling you what I heard.
I will say that I think it's probably more.
I mean,
lip service
it's all just that's it. It's just all legal. I don't know what you call it, legal gymnastics and peacocking, trying to outsmart the other guy. It's fine, and we need to do it. It's grandstanding, but in the meantime, women are going to die. Children are going to be born into environments that they shouldn't be born into. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
The other thing, and the hypocrisy. I mean, people point this out all the time. Every time this fucking abortion issue comes up, they always point out you have a lot of sympathy for the fetus, but nothing for the child. And that hasn't fucking changed.
No. I will say that there is one easy way to fix all of this.
Kill all Republicans.
No. The easy way to fix all this is expand the Supreme Court. Which
Joe's not going to do it.
I think he might, but he doesn't have Congress with him to do it.
Right.
The thing is, and here's my issue with that. If they were to expand the Supreme Court, what stops President Trump or whoever else next from doing the same?
Well, Nance Trump would do that. I'm surprised he didn't do that, to be completely honest.
He didn't have to.
Right. Well, still, it's Trump. Everything has to go above and beyond. It's like, oh, well, there's 9 on the court, and I can add more? Fuck it. Let's add 20 more. I want 20 people, and they're all mine. But I could totally see him doing that.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is like, yeah, if they were to add people to it. And I think that's kind of what has stopped them from doing it so far. Because there was, if you remember, there in the 2020 election,
there was a lot of talk about it.
There was a lot of talk about it.
Yeah.
And it was even brought up in debates and things like that also. And I think it was kind of a lot of the fear of, okay, if we were to do that, like I said, what stops somebody from doing it later down the line?
Right.
And outside of,
is there a way to put a cap on it?
Pass the constitutional amendment, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Getting anything done in Congress or the Senate is just it's a mess. You almost have to have a supermajority to get anything you want, unless you're a Republican. For some reason, Republicans can get whatever the fuck they want.
No, that's not always true.
They get tax breaks that don't help anybody but rich people, and they still get fucking elected.
And here's the thing, Ian, because they have laid the groundwork over the last 50 years.
I know.
To put all this in motion, and the Democrats have not.
I know.
They've played the long game. They've sat back and...
Have they, though? Because it seems to me like the Republicans have played the long game.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
No,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Republicans are the one that have played the long game and has set all this in motion, and the Democrats have not.
Yeah. It seems like the Democrats haven't done shit. Like, they don't even know what fucking game they're playing.
They never really have.
It seems to me like they used to know.
They have in our lifetime.
Yeah, Carter was a bit of a drop in the ball situation. As good of a person and good as a president.
He was a shit president.
Yeah, but he's a good person. Maybe that's his problem.
Maybe that's his problem.
Yeah.
You had to be a terrible person to be a good president?
No, but you can't be that good of a person.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, as far as good people go, Jimmy Carter's pretty high up there.
Yeah, I would say the Republicans, the Democrats haven't really been playing.
They're playing checkers.
Yes. Yeah.
And
they've been doing that since the 60s.
Yeah.
I would argue probably since the late 50s.
I don't know. Kennedy was kind of a chess move.
He wasn't there long enough.
I know.
To do anything in motion.
Yeah. And it wasn't just Republicans who killed him. It was Democrats too.
Yeah. Well, it's the CIA, but
and his own vice president.
And his own vice president. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go too far down the conspiracy hole.
I'm sorry. I don't even believe that's a conspiracy anymore.
It really shouldn't be because obviously.
We can't prove it, but, it's pretty much, we kind of have a good idea of what that was.
Yeah. But for Alito to lay out this like very strict, like originalist idea in this draft that was leaked, like I said, I think it's setting up for other rights to be rolled back, specifically gay rights, same-sex marriage. Hey, you know what? And that's why I said, like, if you were upset about this, fucking vote.
Absolutely.
Because people didn't vote in 2016, and that's how we are where we're at. All of this is because people didn't vote in 2016.
Right. Well, they did. Their vote was to stay home because they didn't like either one.
Well, exactly. Hillary was a bad candidate, so I'm not going to vote.
Right.
Or I'm going to vote for Jill Stein.
Fuck. Yeah.
Because that's what they did.
There's a podcast I listen to. This one guy, he goes off on third-party voters, specifically just for 2016.
Well, that's because that's why.
Right. I know. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying he's right.
Had there not been third-party candidates, Hillary probably still would have lost. It would have been closer.
But that's where the turnout would have been better too. Yeah. If you brought more people out voting, theoretically she probably could have won. She would have squeaked by, and of course Trump would have called foul. But
it doesn't fucking matter.
It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now.
No, we wouldn't.
Had the 2016 election turn out differently. But that's what I'm saying though. Is like, if this is what pisses you off, and it should,
right,
go out and fucking vote in November. Right. And we're going to see what the turnout is.
You know what I think we should do? I think every child that's in an orphanage should be dropped off at a pro-lifer's house and say, here you go. Your responsibility now.
Well, because here's my thing, and I do have some personal experience with this, and that is, because for people always make that statement. Oh, well, look at all the needy children in the United States. If people need to adopt children.
Well, that goes to gay families too. Maybe if we let happy gay couples adopt children that they will love and raise, that would be another thing.
Hold on. Because I will say that there's a lot of people that go outside of this country to adopt children for a very specific reason.
It's too hard to do here.
It's so fucking expensive.
And hard, yeah.
Because Mandy and I looked at adopting, now this is probably 10 years ago or so, and it was like $25,000 to $30,000 to adopt a child, which is fucking ridiculous.
Well, and there's adoption agencies that are denying people based on race, religion, all the time.
Yeah, and I will say one thing is, there's no such thing as an unwanted child in a gay in a gay marriage, right? Right. Like a gay marriage cannot have unwanted children.
Exactly. Right, but they're the ones who are discriminated against the most when it comes to adoption.
Because they can't. I don't think they can still adopt in a lot of states.
Oh no, I don't think they can. So.
But and if they can, they won't be able to for long.
Well, not if their marriages are dissolved because of the fucking Supreme Court.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think that's where this is going next. That's where the next fight is because, like I said,
I know even with Jackson, we still have it's still a heavy majority.
It's 5-4.
Conservative, yeah.
It's 5-4.
Yeah, and everything will just be down that line most likely.
Yeah, from here on out, at least until something changes.
Well, until Joe adds 4 more seats, I guess.
Which is not going to happen.
No. Well, would he just do 2 then?
Oh, that's all you'd have to do is just add 2.
Right. I thought bringing it up to a 13 seat.
Okay.
But I thought that's what everyone was talking about.
And it might be. But like I said, if you bring it up to 13, then in 2 years, Trump makes it 15.
Right. Fuck, Trump would
And
make
then-
it 21.
Whatever. And then 4 years after that, whoever the next Democrat president's going to be, they'll put 2 or 4 more seats on the fucking.
Couldn't they
Supreme
reduce
Court.
it?
I don't think so. No.
Because it was reduced. It used to be higher than 9, wasn't it?
No.
I thought it was.
I don't know. Actually, because now they mentioned it, I thought maybe like early on it was.
So how do you decrease it and still keep it even?
You can't.
Uneven. Right. That's what I mean.
You would
if
be-
you could decrease it and just cut off some of that conservative, I would say drop it down to 7. Just
But
take
here's the
2 of
thing
the
is,
fucking
like-
conservatives off.
Like Clarence Thomas isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
John Roberts isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
Clarence Thomas is old, but
He'll hold off. He's evil enough to hold off to die until there's a Republican in
yeah.
office.
And then Alito is. I don't know how old Alito is. 60s.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'll
he's-
take a look while we're talking.
I don't think he's that old, but there aren't. We won't see unless some kind of like freak accident happens or an untimely death happens. I don't think we're gonna see another Supreme Court justice get nominated within the next probably 8 years.
Justice Alito is 72.
Oh, okay, all right. So, but he's not gonna retire. He'll
wait till he dies.
He'll
yeah.
wait till he dies.
Yeah. Let's see how old John Roberts is.
John Roberts is, I think, in his 60s.
67.
67. Okay.
Brett Kavanaugh's there for a long time.
Yep. So are Kagan's there for a long time.
Well, Thomas is 73. So, he could kick the bucket anytime. Well, Kagan's 62.
Okay.
Breyer is 83.
He's the one that's retiring, isn't he?
Is
Oh,
he?
no.
I thought it was
Stephen Breyer?
I thought it was Kennedy who was retiring.
Maybe it was. No. Hold on. Now you got me. I got to look.
Well, I've got his Wikipedia right here, so I'll see. Yeah, it's Breyer. He's retiring because that's who Jackson's replacing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought it was Stephen Breyer that was retiring.
Barrett, she's fucking young. She's still in her 50. Yeah, she's only 50.
Yeah, she'll be there for a long time.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh's going to be there. Gorsuch's going to be there. It's going to be
Well, like I said, just shave off 2 justices.
you can't
Make
do
it
that,
the
though.
Republican ones that go and be done with it.
I'd be fine. I would be fine if they expanded the court, but like I said, I don't know. Like you would almost have to pass some kind of constitutional amendment or something
To put a cap on
to put
it.
a cap on it.
Right.
That's going to stop them from.
Well, and
expanding it
you couldn't go. Well, I'm going to add 4 seats, making it 13. But 13 is the absolute limit. You couldn't do that. You'd have to be like, I'm going to make it 13, but we need to cap it somewhere, so let's go 15. They would have to do something. like that.
I would cap it if they were to raise it and cap it. I would just cap it whatever you raised it to.
It would look kind of shady.
It's going to be shady regarders how you fucking do it. And here's
No,
the thing.
it's-
Hold on
it's
1 second.
saving people's
Hold
lives.
on, Ian, 1 second.
Yeah.
Because that thinking is what gets Democrats in trouble.
Oh,
Because
I
Republicans don't fucking think like that.
No.
Republicans don't fucking care
know. Right.
if it looks shady
No,
or
because
not.
if they could, they'd cap it right now,
Yeah,
just so that it wouldn't even be an option.
exactly. So yeah, I think that's kind of the thing is like that's what's kind of hurt Democrats is they're like, okay, well we got to figure out. Well, we don't want to do this or don't do that
I've
because
been
it just
saying
looks
that
bad.
for years. I've been saying the Democrats lack spine for years. They don't know
Well,
how to fight back.
I don't think they don't. I wouldn't say that they lack spine. I think they worry too much about how it looks, how things
Right,
look,
well.
and how certain laws look.
To me, that's kind of spineless, but because the Republicans don't give a shit.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like with Democrats, in largely, at least the ones that are elected into office, a lot of them, that's all they do is fucking mouth service. Like, look at all the things that they like during the election season. They cater to minorities, and then when they get in office, how the fuck do they help minorities?
They don't.
They don't.
They raise taxes on everybody
Yeah.
except themselves.
Yes.
They're the ones who cause all the fucking problems. Whenever there's a fucking recession, it's because fucking Republicans won't pay any fucking taxes.
But it's not just Republicans; it's fucking rich people across the board.
which,
like,
yeah.
it's Democrats, it's Republicans, it's Independents. They all fucking.
There's a lot of Democratic rich people though who are like, nah, I'm okay with paying a little extra taxes. Stop cutting my taxes.
Yeah, but those same Democrats in Congress at least are the ones that are like, okay, yeah, I'm making $150,000 a year base salary, but I make $3 or $5 million a year off all my inside trading and all the bribes that I take, and it's all the same bullshit.
Yeah. Well, we've said it a million times. That should be illegal.
Oh, it should be. It should be. Yeah. And Nancy Pelosi is one of the fucking worst offenders. For inside trading.
You'll never catch me defending Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi is the luckiest fucking trader on earth.
Speaking of which, did you see the photo op with her and Zelensky in Ukraine?
No.
He looked so uncomfortable, and I can't blame him because I'm like, this man is like, yes, he's a politician, but he's like fighting a fucking war, and Nancy Pelosi standing next to him with a big smile on her face. I'm like, stop with the fucking photo ops. This man is he's trying to fight a fucking war.
Yeah.
And you could just see it in his face. He looks so uncomfortable.
He's probably standing there thinking to himself, do I really want to take this photo standing next to death?
I know. I think he did keep looking at her in a funny way, like, because I'm sure she doesn't look appealing up close. She looks terrible on TV. I'm sure she's terrible up close. But I could see, because if it were me, and I can only project to that extent, but if it were me, I'd be thinking, this photo op is not doing anything for me, and it's not doing anything for my people. This is all for you. Why the fuck am I here? That's what I'd be thinking.
Yeah. And
that's kind of the uncomfortableness I could kind of see in him. And again, I'm projecting, but he definitely looked uncomfortable during that moment.
No, I definitely missed that. I knew she was. I saw that she went over there, but I don't know.
There should have been no fucking photo ops.
I know,
because that's not a fucking photo op moment.
No, that's one of those things where you just go over there and do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. And get out. But back to the whole Supreme Court thing. It's I will say that. Alito also used, so it was Justice Kennedy that wrote the opinions for a couple of big, I don't remember the names of the cases, but there were two big Supreme Court cases that boosted the rights of the LGBT community. I was trying to get my thoughts together, but and Alito kind of attacked the language in both of those rulings. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I was thinking, like, I think that's kind of the playbook of where it's going next. Right. That's why I think gay rights are what's...
Do you think Kennedy would vote for gay rights?
Yes. He was the one that wrote the majority opinions.
But isn't he a conservative judge?
No, but he was nominated by a conservative.
Oh.
No, Justice Kennedy always sides with
I think I'm thinking of the Kennedy that's in office, or whatever Kennedy is. I forgot which Kennedy is in office.
Okay.
He's like staunch pro-lifer, anti-gay.
Whatever. But yeah, it's not Justice Kennedy.
He's one of the Southern Kennedys.
Okay. But no, Justice Kennedy has long been like the swing vote on the Supreme Court. Sometimes he sides with the Republicans, sometimes he sides with the Democrats.
So he's a moderate.
He is a moderate, yes. But as far as like same sex, anything same sex that's come before the court, I believe he's always sided with the more liberal wing.
So he would be one of the 4 bench. To 5.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know. So like I said, I think that's kind of where they're laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I didn't even think of that. All I could think about was, I knew this was coming, and I'm so glad I don't have a fucking daughter.
Yeah. Well.
Right now.
I think that, and that's the thing, is like, this isn't going to, Roe v. Wade is not going to stop abortions from happening. It's not.
No, but that's the problem. It's going to make them become less safe.
Less safe, and that's the big thing.
It's going to take away other reproductive health care necessities.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's going to lower the floor for everybody.
Yeah.
It always does.
Hey man, the Republicans always talk about wanting to take us back to the glory days of the country. The days of the 50s and
We should
early
do that with the
60s.
tax rates then too.
Yeah, exactly. Back when the tax rate was 70%.
Yeah. If they want me to live like it's the 1950s, they need to raise the taxes on themselves.
Yeah, well,
to the 1950 standards.
actually, I believe the top tax rate in the 50s was 90%.
Yeah,
I think
and
it
I'd
was
even be willing,
Kennedy that lowered it to 70%.
and I'd even be willing to go with 65.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'll make it. I'm quite content with anyone who makes over $1 million paying 65% tax on their income.
Yeah, well,
I'm completely okay.
but here's
with
the
that.
thing, it's like
I'm still going to pay 15%.
Yeah,
because I'm already paying too much.
And here's the thing, and this is something we've talked about for a long time, is like in the United States, the American dream used to be to have a nice house, to be able to afford a vacation, to send your kids off to college or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now it's to hit the lotto. Everyone in this country are just temporarily displaced fucking millionaires. Yeah. You got people that are screaming about, the rich getting, having to pay more taxes while they're making $25,000 a fucking year.
Right. And paying a higher rate.
Yeah. Yes.
Our rates went up in 2019.
Yeah.
The millionaires did not. They're stayed at the rate from 2018.
Yeah.
And are still at that rate.
But that's the thing that people always kind of confuse, numbers with percentages.
Right.
Because you look at the numbers and you're like, oh my God, the top 10% pay, 85% of the taxes in the country. Or it's not quite that number, but it's, high number like that. Mm-hmm. And yes, it is a high number, high dollar amount, but like percentage compared to what they make a year, it's less than the 10 or 12% or 15% that you're paying.
I always point it out this way. If you make $100 and this guy makes $1,000 and you pay 10% on your $100, yes, that's $10. You still have $90 left.
Yeah.
Now this person pays 10%. They paid $1,000. They paid more, but they still have $9,000 left. It's a lot easier for them to live than it is for you to live, especially when the cost of living really should make you to be comfortable. You should be making $200.
Yeah.
And you should have $200 rather than $100.
Yeah. But when you look at someone like Elon Musk, who's making billions of dollars a fucking minute,
right,
and his
throwing his money around like it's going,
and his tax rate is effectively zero. I mean, it's like,
and he complains that it's too high.
Yeah, but
I've seen him do it.
I know that, but he's paying the amount of money he pays might seem like it's very high, but it's very small in comparison to the money he makes.
It's a lot less than he paid for fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
We'll get into that next week.
But I don't know. I just the Supreme Court, like I said, I think there's very few avenues that you can really go to, but I think it all starts with turning out the electorate in November and making sure the Democrats control the House and the Senate. If anything is going to change, that's where it's going to change.
I would say there's one area where it might be able to change it, and I would say that all women should strike sex until it's changed.
Well, that doesn't matter. Well, because Republicans will just go find it in Haiti or some other country.
That's where they go to get their little boys, Nick. They don't go there for women.
I thought that was what's his name's Sex Island that they go to.
I don't know where that's at, but no, and it's probably Thailand is where they go for the little boys. Isn't it?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't go anywhere for anything. So
and the thing is, you have to remember though, is there's a lot of women out there
that are anti-abortion.
Anti-abortion.
I get it. They're probably not having sex anyway.
I wouldn't go that far, but
yeah, probably a lot of them are probably like crusty old women or prudish, 30-somethings who've probably never even had sex,
never had an orgasm.
Definitely not ever had an orgasm.
Yeah, but
which, to be fair, isn't necessarily their fault. It's probably their guy's fault.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to.
When you're married to a guy that looks like Brett Kavanaugh, I'm like,
right. Fair enough. Well, yeah, and then let's face it, Brett Kavanaugh, he ain't doing what it takes.
No, all he's doing is sitting in front of in a congressional hearing crying about beer. I mean,
right. Republicans do like to fucking cry a lot these days.
I mean, I think
only when they're challenged.
No. Everyone likes to fucking cry a lot these days.
I don't.
It's like all there is on social media is just everyone pissing and fucking crying about everything.
Bring it on. That's what they need. You know what they need to do? They just need us to argue all these things. And because I think you're pretty good at like arguing from the technical standpoint. I can argue from the emotional standpoint. We have nothing to fucking lose. No one's going to vote for us anyway. But we could win on you. Like I said, you get the technical side. I'll get the emotional side.
I could win. I could win some elections.
I don't know.
I don't know. If I had enough money behind me, I could win an election.
I don't know if you really need, because you're gonna have to start grassroots anyway. You're gonna have to start local.
Why not? If
theoretically, you should start local because you don't like the way your town is run anyway.
That's very true.
And you don't really need a lot of money to start there.
I probably wouldn't win an election in this town.
No, you probably wouldn't, but start there. That's where you need to start.
But here's the thing is, like, Republicans don't ever start with grassroots. They just start a bunch of money. Republicans are the people that, like, they start off on third base and think they hit a triple.
Right.
You know, they think that they did all this. You know, they consider
that's because most of them are born rich and never had to work a day in their fucking lives
and it's
anyway.
Like, you know, well, I'm a self-made millionaire. Elon Musk is a self-made millionaire.
I don't know how Elon Musk
Bill Gates is a self-made. You know,
I know Bill Gates came from money.
Elon Musk is a fucking millionaire or billionaire because his fucking dad owned a goddamn emerald mine in South Africa.
Oh,
that's where he got his fucking.
See, I didn't know. I didn't judge him on that. I just judged him on the fact that he's a billionaire. He's one of the richest men in the fucking world, and he bitches because he's got to pay his fucking taxes.
Yeah, but
that drives me nuts.
There's a lot of people out there that have called themselves self-made millionaires, and
all of them,
and then when you actually start looking into it, it's like, oh, your parents gave you $200,000 seed money to start your business,
right?
That's not fucking self-made.
That's not self-made. No. Self-made is you starting that startup business in your garage with $5 in your pocket and eating once a week.
Yeah,
that's self-made.
Yeah. Yep. You're taking real fucking risk.
Right.
You know, owning a business and, you know, or starting a business and knowing that if your business fails, you might lose your fucking house.
Right.
You know, those are self-made people, not the ones that
if your seed money came from the bank with an interest rate that if you default on, you're in big ass trouble, that's a risk.
Well, the same thing with Jeff Bezos. You know, they always talk about, well, he started Amazon in his garage. Yeah, but he got a really nice fucking free fucking loan from his parents.
Right.
You know, I forgot what his parents did, but you know, he came from money also. There's nothing self-made there.
Not anymore, because I don't think it's even possible to be self-made without having some huge amount of money. When I say huge, to me, huge is like 10 grand. But to have any kind of money that is given to you without any risk to you.
There are lots of businesses out there that, you know, start up because of crowdsourcing or start up.
But that's different though.
Start up off of business loans and things like that.
I said loans because if you default on a loan, that's dangerous. That's bad for your credit. That's bad for your future. Crowdfunding, there's still work involved. It's not like that money's given to you, and there's still risk involved.
That's what I'm saying though. Is there are still people there are self-made people out there.
Yeah, not what it used to be.
It's not. I don't think it's ever been like that though.
And I think
there's always
200 years ago, if you had a good idea and you were smart about it, you could do something.
Fine. In modern times, post 1920 or 1915, you know, most of the businesses or big businesses or people that have gained lots of wealth through their companies have all had generational wealth.
Right.
You know, they've all had that money to fall back on.
That's why we need to bring back the death tax.
Partially, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get off into that because that's a whole different topic. But
well,
I think some of that would help. But here's the thing, though, is like a lot of those people that are, you know, quote unquote self-made, they get all this money from their families. They're getting that before those people die.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know, so the death tax isn't going to really affect that.
No, but a real fair tax rate would. If we could ever get that back.
I mean, maybe to a certain level, but you know, there's always going to be those people that, like I said, start off on third base and think they hit a triple, and the whole fucking crowd thinks they hit a triple.
Right.
You know, because people buy into that shit. But you know, I think we kind of got off topic from the whole Supreme Court thing.
Because there's nothing we can really say or do that's going to make it any better. All I can say is that, you know, obviously my support is with women. and their right to choose whatever they want to
Yeah.
choose for their own bodies and their own health.
But here's the thing, and I think the Democrats at least are starting to do the right thing at this point as we sit here and discuss this.
Right.
Because over the last 48 hours or so, they've really ramped up the asking for donations and stuff, just like campaigning off of the whole
Good. They need to. They need to
abortion
drill
thing.
it home.
And I will say
the only
that
problem is, though, that this is another smart play by the fucking Republicans, because they know that the Democrats really should be talking about the economy
yeah.
and that kind of thing.
But here's the
But
thing.
now they have to talk about abortion.
Here's the thing. Well, you could do two things at once, but here's the
They
big
can't.
thing. Here's the thing, though, and this is something I've seen on social media over the last 24 to 48 hours, is people that I would not consider hardcore Republicans. I would consider them moderates, either moderate Republican or moderate Democrat, that have been posting a lot of stuff about this whole abortion thing.
Yeah.
And being pissed off about it. And I think that could help Democrats in November. But at this point in the game, I don't know if it's going to help them enough to really save the House or the Senate. Because, like I said, if you're upset about this, that's where it starts.
Oh, that's where it starts. That's where it ends.
Well, it doesn't end there, but
I think I've come to the conclusion that state government is where you can make a difference.
Yeah. Well,
you can't do it.
Republicans figured that out in 1975.
Right. And wrongly, I've always thought that if you could do it from the top, you just can't.
Yeah.
They've made that impossible. And that's all of them. When I say all of them have made that impossible. It boils down to
But you
state
understand
level.
why, though.
Yeah.
Is because Republicans have put all this effort into state and local governments to shape the opinion of the populace.
Right.
And that's what they've done. And they've done a pretty damn effective job at that since, like I said, the mid to late 70s. And Democrats have largely ignored that. And Democrats have largely had that opinion, same as you, that we're going to focus at the national level. We'll be able to form national policies that will get us reelected. But the problem is forming national policies for New York doesn't play the same in Idaho.
Right.
And doesn't play the same in Oklahoma. It doesn't play the same in Utah or Arizona or Washington.
Is it really time for the union to just not exist anymore?
No. But what I think it's time for is it's time for the Democrats
to start playing chess.
To start playing chess and actually pay attention to state and local. And I've been saying that for 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
That because I think 2010 is when it really fucking changed.
Oh yeah, it was. And I think that you're right, because 2010 is when it was obvious.
Yeah. Well, the Democrats
weren't playing the same game.
The Democrats lost like 31 governor mansions in 2010. I mean,
but see, like I said, that was when it was obvious that it was.
People look at how bad the Democrats did in the House, losing the House in 2010. It was losing a lot of state elections is what really hurt them in 2010. And that's when it really became evident that there was a very big problem in the Democratic Party, and they really haven't done a good job.
One could probably argue that might even go back to, say, 90. Was it 98? Or was it 90?
What?
I'm trying to think when, or was it
94? It was 94 when the Democrats took a fucking bloodbath in the midterm.
Okay. So, I mean, you could argue that it goes back even that far.
No, because there were still a lot of states that had, the state and local governments run by Democrats largely.
Right.
Until like I said, the 2008, 2010, those elections, I think is really when it changed. And they haven't done anything to fix that problem since then. No. So you have Republicans on a local level driving the narrative that is helping them nationally.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're talking about working from the ground up. That's what the Democrats need to focus on. And that's what I think is going to help in the long run. But we'll see if that actually happens.
Yeah.
But that's all
it won't. I'm already going to tell you it won't. and I'm getting pretty good at predicting this shit. So
you didn't predict anything, but
I told you I saw this coming 5 years ago. You're like, nah.
Well, like I said, the Supreme Court and the congressional makeup was very different 5 fucking years
Yeah,
ago.
but I still saw it coming, and even when it was different, and you're like, nah. I'm like, there's no scenario where you see, nah. Because I always ask you that. Whenever you tell me no, I was like, there's no scenario where you don't see this happen. Nah. Well, here's the scenario.
Because here's the thing. In the end of the Obama administration, did you think we would see a Republican president anytime soon?
At the end of Obama?
I mean, yeah, at the end of
Oh,
Obama.
yeah. I didn't think it'd be Trump.
No.
But if it had been anyone other than Trump, I would have put my money on that person.
I thought we would see, and I probably would have put money on it too, which probably would have been bad. Obviously, would have been a bad thing, but
Right.
I thought we would at least have another 8 years of a Democratic president, and that's why I thought that
I didn't even have hope of that.
Ian, you don't have hope of anything.
Sure, I do. I hope that I will die peacefully in
Sure,
my bed.
whatever. All right,
At some point in the near future.
any question or comments, you email us at what's our email address?
lifeingeneralpod@gmail.com.
That it is. I almost said our old email addresses. But that's about all I got, man. Until next time, talk to y'all. Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm proud about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some GoPros, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas spacey. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit. Watch out, you the god, Billy. Oh shit. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck. Standing with niggas who down for that party. Who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God.